Oh, g'day Steve and Edge and Mr. Lockhart, welcome. Just realised this font's a little small there for old fart like myself. That's better. 125%. That's how you can gauge your years are ticking by. How many percent you got to increase the size of your font. Alrighty, what have we got? Hey Pianov, how's it going? Oh, Paul, welcome. And Ed, of course. Mike Summerside. Don't recall seeing you around before. Welcome if you're new. Hey, Marinus DeWitt. Marinus, are you from South Africa, or is that just you happen to have a Dutch German name? Right, so we got this 1502. Hey, Mark Prince. 1502 with no life, other than apparently just the magsafe, so I guess I better verify that. I need to get into the habit of verifying what these tickets are before I open it up. It's a bad habit I have. Hey Stockholms, hey Travis. So let's see, kind of helps a bit. Turn it on. Got a flash of magsafe. We've got magsafe. Okay, you guys are, so it's charging. SMC's possibly alive. Well, it's only showing 25 milliamp. Alright. It could either be fully charged battery or battery completely dead. I guess the easiest way to find out is to crack this thing open and get inside and find out what's going on. Born Dutch but living in Belgium now. Oh, okay. Yeah. Joys of being in Europe in general. And go to so many different countries so easily in half a day's drive or less. Let's see, what's Pianov gonna say? Pianov's gonna come back and say it's the CPU. Or the PCH. Because we don't even know which board we've got here yet. We don't know whether we've got a 4924 or something like that. Okay, this is one of the lower RAM versions. 8 gigs. Naturally, it's the flippin'. Okay, we've got a burn mark, I think, on the battery there. Let's see if that coincides with anything. It's hard to say whether it's a burn mark or a venting. Or is it just goo? Alright. Just goo. Solid state drive is not in here, it's been taken out. I don't have a problem with that. In case people are thinking they should have left it with me or something. Although it is interesting that the battery is intact, but I suppose some of these cases you can't put the panel down without locking the battery down as well. Okay, let's see. What's Mark say? I had one of these beginning of the year, ended up dead CPU. Oh great, thanks. Alright, so we've got one dead CPU. 2014 3530 Eric. Yeah, it's not 2015 because I can see the difference there. Camera is frozen on microscope. What? By the way, well thanks for reminding me anyway, because yeah, you're right, the microscope wasn't even open. On rather. Okay, this has been disassembled, I think. Ah, Steve, you're encouraging him. Right. Let's see if we get any better behaviour with the daughter board disconnected. Still 23. That's not even enough to make the fan spin, even if we wanted it. Looks like we've got an upload issue with the internet. Hey, English. I can't speak. English hedgehog. Wow, that took me a while to get out properly. Hey, Paul Howe. Alright, so what have we got? We've got S5 short, CPU dead. Interesting. Actually, I'd be curious if it was S5 because we are getting a MagSafe, so technically we should be somewhere near SO. Unless it's one of those horror events. I'm going to look over the board with the microscope just quickly. Hey Anton. And 6 skills. I'm not really expecting to see anything on this side, but you never know. Maybe... Okay, we do have a little spot of corrosion there, so we may have a wayward bug issue. We've got... Maybe someone's been pushing something around here. We've got a slight crack on that flex. We really don't want a repeat of last night. I'm actually tempted to pull that fan out of the bin and try again, to be honest. Now that I know it's a 3-phase brushless motor configuration and it's on, you know, both sides of the flex are separate as opposed to just being one layer flex. Like, you know, come back the next day feeling more rejuvenated and attack things again. Alright. Hey, Cryatus. Yeah, it's been fun. Next couple of days are going to be a little bit traumatic. The kittens that we saved the other week, they're all good. But unfortunately the mother ended up being... She regressed. She didn't get better with human contact. And so unfortunately she was put down today, so that kind of was a little upsetting, obviously. And we have another 3 here that we have to catch and deal with, and it's probably going to be the same outcome with them. It's pretty hard on us because we do everything we can to try and save these animals, but a lot of the time you just can't. If they've gone beyond, if they've gotten too old and they really do not like or handle human contact or human approach, then there's basically no hope for them. What I would love to be able to have is some sort of farm, so to speak. It sounds wrong to call it a farm because people around here use the terminology, well, we'll take them to the farm, to really mean they're going to go put them down. But it'd be nice to have the sort of money in the property to set up a sanctuary, as it were, where they're not really human socialized, but they can at least still get care and food and things like that, and keeps them off the street, stops them causing dramas, because right now that's the biggest problem, is they cause dramas. Hey Ahmed. Yeah, Paul, it's not the greatest feeling, especially because, sorry, scratchy, itchy nose. Yeah, we're getting their trust so that they stick around, and then we catch them, and then basically it's the end for them when we catch them. So we're sort of doing the very opposite of what we're trying to do, sort of. Yeah, but the downside is if you leave them be, then yeah, it's still a bad outcome. And the problem being is that they try to get into our enclosures and causing all sorts of dramas. They spread disease, they get pregnant, and yeah, it's just the way it is, but it's not nice. Uh, I mean, there are some people who legitimately do take them as barn cats, but for the most part, it's usually, yeah, code for put down. Oh, okay. Huh. Wasn't looking for that, but that I'd say is probably our killer. I haven't even got a chance to have a look at the board number yet. I haven't even had a chance to woo and whine this one. Let me get my, just to verify. I know Pianhoff said it before. 3536. Very good. And yeah, that looks suspiciously suspicious. Yeah, once they become feral, it's really a problem. And the worst thing is if they have a litter and that litter grows up, then they become even more feral, more unused to or not used to human contact. It's we have rescued, pardon me, we have rescued litters before where they've been abandoned pets or lost pets, and they're very easy to deal with. You get, they will come up to you, they'll ask for food, all that sort of stuff, and you can approach them, and they are able to be saved. But these ones that we're dealing with, they're second generation ones, so they've never really had human direct contact. They know about humans, they know humans can give food, but they're not inclined to come up and let you pat them or anything. You put your hand there, you're going to come back with only 4 fingers. Yeah, Paul, that's what we try to do. We try to capture them if we can, check them for disease. Unfortunately, a lot of them around here have feline AIDS or feline leukemia or something like that. So, this itchy nose is annoying. So we're having a really bad run lately, and it's getting us down a fair bit because we do love them, and likewise dogs. We just love animals in general. Mosquitoes not so much. But, I mean, I rescue snakes as well, so, it's not, it's just hard to have to do that to an animal. Particularly because there's no real explicit fault of their own, they're just doing what they're doing, and they can't help it that they're causing trouble. Alright, so what do we got here? This is 3v42 G3 heart, right, well, yeah. So it's probably enough to just get things rolling, but yeah, not good enough. Okay, I'm just going to see if there's anything else. There's probably not enough power. Oh man, yeah. There's a couple of... Oh, God. Yeah. Anyway, it looks like we had this looks like a frat party of bugs. And they all drank too much and they've basically just puked up everywhere. And now I've got to go clean up their damage. My guess is that's probably what's causing it not to do much else. The 3v42 is probably damaged as well, but that's probably the primary culprit. Let's have a look what that resistor's for. Hey Zenny, hey Joe, hey Givany too. Let's see. All in. So which one have we got there? That resistor right against this pair or that pair? Diode, horizontal pair, vertical. Okay. That's just solid state current sense. Yeah. Still wouldn't really blame that. Oops. Okay, this one's got burn marks around it, so maybe that's it. Hey graphics, hey Steve K. 3, this one here. PCH sus acknowledge L. That's more likely our candidate. Sus warn. So what could be happening is if this is meant to be pulled, no, it's a no stuff there. So what is actually that resistor? 5231 PDF. Okay, so that's going to the SMC. So yeah, I would say that's probably more our candidate for what's causing the problem. Crazy J, you're getting crazy there. Alright, guess it's time to flux and boil, clean up everything, and then see how we go, shall we? I really need to spend some time and get this bench redone because the vibration through the camera is annoying me. We have got corrosion on this. Just noticed that. Great, we've got corrosion on everything. I'm just going to have to mark this so that I know to come back to it. Just want to see if that pad under it is dead. Yeah, that's a very dead pad. Yeah, and the resistors are gone too. Alright. So we've got our work cut out for us on this one. Change the quad camera. The people are demanding, you know. Maybe there should be user control camera views. The reason why I sometimes get stuck on the quad view is because I'll think about a reason why later. There is something in my hair. You can't be too complacent about bugs around here. There's some real nasty little bugs that we get, and if they get in your eye, and if they get in your eye and they decide that they don't like you, they are impressively painful. It genuinely feels like someone's thrown some hydrochloric acid into your eye. Probably because, as far as I understand, that is actually what the bug secretes, or something very similar to that. And it is truly debilitating. So, welcome to Australia, buddy. Like, it's a beauty. Thanks, mate. I'm having a hard time getting onto this pad. I've got a feeling that maybe it's actually one of those veer pad combos and the pad itself has been eaten away. Yeah, that's what it is. So what I've got there is actually a nub and the trace itself is gone. Thank you, Danny. Appreciate that. Yes, Travis, crawling in your ear. That's damn horror stuff. Genuinely horror stuff. I do not ever want to have to live through that again. And I got off lucky. I really did get off lucky on that, because I know my father had to drive for an hour and a bit to have it dealt with when it happened to him. And that's no fun at all. Because the little buggers, when they get in there and they scratch away at your eardrum, the eardrum is perhaps one of the most sensitive parts of your body. Yeah. And I knew it was happening as it was happening, because I felt the bug fly into my hair. And of course straight away the brain is going, protect the eardrum, because I obviously am aware of these situations. But it was too late. It got into me too quick. And before I knew it, I was in trouble, screaming out to the wife, telling her to go get the olive oil or the oil out of the cabinet, and at the same time call the ambulance just in case I dropped dead from shock. Okay, third one on the outer run. Travis, it's not a case of being stronger, it's a case of you just simply have no choice. You're on that ride, you're just going to have to, you don't get a choice. It's kind of like when you come off a motorbike. So people like to sort of think they can, do some acrobatics or something when they come off the motorbike and land safer on their feet. It doesn't happen like that. When you get thrown off the motorbike on a high side, even a low side, you're just in there for the ride. You can take over the ride once, you can go back and control once you've stopped flying around. I don't know what it is, but my hot air is not really punching it right now. Audio sync is off? Flip me. Blimey heck. It's one of those nights, isn't it? Alright, I'll sort that out in a jiff. Let's get this resistor down first. And I really need to put a bigger nub down there. I'm gonna have to put a big ball in there. Or a couple of balls, something. Just let me fix up this sink, okay? So, a rough sink. Stop. Alright, so here we go now. Hopefully you're all back. Oh good, thank you. These are the balls I use with the SMC. I've got a bit too much air going on there, but so even though the ball melts, you've really got to get the veer inside to melt as well. Alright, I think that's good now. Unfortunately, that's not how I wanted it to go. Man, that is a crappy resistor. I think I'll have to get another one. And that's a 100k resistor. I'm going to get another one. That one, you can see how the solder is not becoming one with the resistor. Leave my ball there. Oh, damn it. So I'll just throw that on the ground, because carpet is an excellent way of capturing resistors. And find myself, I don't even know what size this is. I'm guessing 201. Yep, it's a 201. Well, very first packet on the top of the stack. 100k, 201. Precisely what I'm after. Donor boards are fantastic for most things when you're doing these repairs, particularly if you don't want to have to look at what values are or size or anything like that, where you just want to do pick and place left and right. But when you get these situations where your donors are just a little bit too beaten up, which unfortunately is happening more and more as more and more people buy donors, so the quality of the boards tends to be dropping considerably as we sort of reach towards the bottom of the barrel. So yeah, sometimes you have to get a nice fresh real good one. Damn it, that really does not want to connect with that veer. If I cannot get that veer, what am I going to have to do? Okay, we've got a test point over here, so that's not a big, massive issue. That's this here, which makes sense. The luck is with me, for now. But this could be a bit of a lie, though. But, oh, no. Well, I don't understand what's going on there, actually. Because there's definitely a veer going through the board. But I can also see that this trace is going to the SMC, which makes this all the more a horrible situation, because what it means is that this here is great, it's going to the SMC, but where that veer is going is to the PCH, probably. Or in the middle of no frickin' where. Wait, going there. 7501. Okay. Worst case scenario, we can run that, so alright. The luck is holding still. Thank goodness for that. I was genuinely worried we were going to have a premature end of our fortune. Let's take a rather oversized, over thick wire for this. This really is excessively thick for this task. But I like using it because of the fact that it's basically, it's good quality raw bare tinned wire, and so you don't have to do a lot to prep it. You just put it down against the part, and the one time that you want some solder on your tip, you got nothing. Fantastic, I've got a dry tip for a change. How typical. Oh, look at that. It magically connected itself to the end of the resistor just how I didn't want it to connect. Not how I was wanting to do it, but I'm gonna go with this. Hey Aussie Geek, well, hopefully not an all-nighter, but I've sort of taken the opportunity I've got now to try and get some stuff done. I did manage to get a few machines out today. Ever since Lewis has put my details up on his website, it's been a significant jump in queries and that sort of thing, so I'm very, very thankful for what Lewis has done. It's surprising, in spite of the number of times that he has actually given a shout out on stream and things like that, it's only since he put the site links details on his website that I've really seen the uptake. Okay, we're going to get rid of that too. Marek, you're talking about the superfine ones there from Union Repair. I've forgotten now exactly what they're called, but I think they're hyperfine, because obviously superfine and ultrafine is already taken. So yeah, they're hyperfine tweezers. They've got an extra grind on them, so like you go down to your normal tips and then they have ground them down even more. Normally I use these for iPhones, but I gotta admit I'm getting naughty and using them for the MacBooks now too, for these sort of little parts. Hey David Legault. Paul, get your 3 iPad 12.1s and a 1 terabyte drive, one for wife, daughter. It should be a... Do you mostly just use the iPads, or... I've never really had an opportunity to truly use the iPads. I've seen other people with them. I will admit I'm very happy with my iPhones. I know, it's sacrilegious to talk like that, but realistically, I'm sorry to say, but for as much as I am a PC Linux guy, I really do enjoy my iPhone. And I started out using Samsung gear, Samsung Note. You know, I was a real big supporter of that stuff. But after so many times it going like it was running through the ocean with dead weights on it, I gave up on them and I said, stuff it. I'm going to try the iPhones. And I gotta admit, since I've tried the iPhone, I haven't had any urge whatsoever to turn back. So I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, you use your laptop more. What sort of laptop you got? If that's okay to ask. I'm not a big fan of laptops, but again, I will use the MacBook 1466 or 1502, things like that. The biggest reason I really didn't care for laptops much is because, again, the PC ones just basically sucked. Now, I may be being a little unfair because all the PC laptops I got were probably certainly no more than about $1,000 or $1,200. Oh shoot! Oh man, that was already broken. So we got a problem now. Okay, what's happened is we've broken off. This new flux is actually crystallizing very quickly. I don't like that. It solidifies very fast and leaves you with like a crystal, very hard to remove, amber-like substance. And we just knocked off the veer head that was a bit like one of these. It's a little unusual because I can't see the stump, so I'd say it may have corroded through. Is there something down there? Can we find Timmy down the well? And if we can't find Timmy down the well, then what is the point and purpose of this here, unless that was actually meant to be just a part pad, in which case I can completely ignore that. Yeah, it could be old stock. I got it from Lewis, so it really would not surprise me if it's old stock. He's done a few Swifties on me before. Alright, so we've got a gang of 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 resistors and then a bigger one. Okay, so that's up there. It's this middle one. Alright, so this is what I'm looking at. R5529. I'm going to guess it's no stuff. It's... it is stuffed. Okay, maybe it's the next row up. No. Well, there's definitely no part on there. 5529. I'll go compare to the other board. Wait, I got the wrong damn board. I got a 4924 there. I don't want a 4924. 3476. It's close enough, actually. This will have the same structure. Same structure, but slightly different resistor stuffing. So basically what's happened is this pad here has gone and vanished, and it seems like it's a no stuff. Hey Kevin from Arkansas. Toshiba 32 gig RAM, 2 hard drives, one is 1.5 terabyte and the other is 2. Obviously the spinning rust ones. I'm surprised you're getting spinning rust. Any particular reason as opposed to getting a solid state, or have you actually got solid states that are that big? In which case I'm all the more impressed. Alright, I'm going to say that's a no stuff situation, so I'm not going to worry about that. We'll get on with other things. And I'm just going to red mark this so that I know I have done work in that area. So when I come down and start brushing like a lunatic, I don't knock that stuff. This here I'm going to replace because it's got the corrosion on the pins and I don't know how far it's gone under the chip. And more to the point, I don't even know what chip that is. I'm guessing your U7700. LCD backlight current sense. No, that's not you. LCD and keyboard backlight driver. Oh, really? Seriously? Okay. Well, I'm going to replace that anyway, because like I said, I don't like the fact that I had corrosion under it. Yeah, solid state prices are just so low now, really. I mean, they're low to the point where now, when I do phone recoveries, I don't even bother with USB sticks. I just put all their data on a 120 gig or 250 gig solid state drive and send it down. Sticks are still too slow compared to solid state drive, and most people can get access to like a $20 adapter cable. Ah, you got a stubborn ground plane, eh? Come on. Very stubborn. Is that a baking mat? Yes it is, Danny. Just a good old standard cooking baking mat. I can't take credit for that idea. That's actually something I saw Chris Long doing. And I thought, that's actually pretty sensible. And so I did the same myself. They're nice and cheap too. And they do a good job, which is an extra bonus. Hey Mike Bell, welcome. Congratulations on making it to a live stream. How long have you been trying? I'm clearing this with alcohol because of the fact that I had the marker pen there. And I don't want the risk of some chemical in the marker pen messing around with the soldering process. I mean, ignoring the fact that there's just so many other chemicals floating around in this whole area, but hey Steve Burridge, good to see you. Now let's see. Kind of surprised that someone hasn't made a 5.25-inch drive that works like the old floppies drives for solid state. I know someone has made one for a USB stick. I guess the problem is, oh well, man, that's ISL. We don't care about that. This one here is also all corroded around the driver, so we can't use that. Yeah, doing the mapping conversion to make a floppy drive type thing is a little bit tricky. Oh, yeah, you still got a 4th gen i7. I gotta admit, thought you'd be up to 5th or 6th, but well, you certainly should enjoy the upgrade then. This machine is a i5-8400. For the most part, it keeps up with all my streaming requirements, although sometimes it's just a wee little bit, I could do with just a little bit more punch, but overall I'm pretty happy with it. Considering that it's just encoding all the USB streams, there's no HDMI capture, it does a pretty good job. I was worried for a second there was a crack then. Hey Tom George. Yeah, Tom, I'm thinking you're right. I'll be honest, and I haven't. I don't know when I got this. It was just when I found the drawer. It says the expiry date's January 30 of 2020, so we've still got a month and a bit. It's the NC559V2. Maybe it's a bad batch. It flows quite well out of the syringe, but that's about the best of it. Everything else about it just seems a little bit, yeah. If Tim joins, he'll be able to tell me whether this is normal or not. It needs to be moved across a bit slightly. Sura, no, unfortunately I do not touch the razors. In general, basically, unless it's a MacBook, I pretty much won't deal with it. Might seem like it's a little bit of prejudice, but really it's a realistic thing. I don't have the equipment or anything for a razor, and from some of the horror stories I've heard, I'm really disinclined to touch razor anyway. So yeah, like I said, it's nothing personal against anyone. It's hard enough keeping up with all the MacBook stuff, let alone other brands. Ah, damn it. My JSO2 is just a little fat around there. Yeah, there's a bit of corrosion there, eh? I'll have to watch that. Ah, crikey. Quad view again, damn it. Sorry, everybody. All about the main thing I suppose you'll gain moving up to a newer chip would be power efficiency more than anything else, I dare say. I'm a little annoyed I didn't see this bit of corrosion before I put that chip down. See how it's got that, it's probably hard to tell, but it's got that pretty orange yellow colour. And that's basically the copper corroding away. Fortunately it hasn't really done a lot of damage. It's just surface. Still, it was bad of me to miss that while the chip was off. All fixed now. Except now I'm looking at this alignment thinking that sucks. Welcome now to the next stage of life where I reflow this again and make it worse. If I'm lucky, it will just pull itself back into position, but these QFNs don't tend to do that so much. QFN or DFN? QFN. I'll do. Yeah, good luck trying to find someone in Australia who will handle the razors. A lot of us have been burned in the past by the razor cult, and so we're somewhat wary of them. And it's no fun when the razor machines just spontaneously decide to die even though you've done everything technically correct, and then all of a sudden the machine still just decides, nope, it's had its day, and pops the chute and exits stage right. Ah, Farnell's back. But now these might not be actually destroyed, but I'm replacing them anyway because they are pretty messed up. And if they're not broken now, they probably will be in a week or two. And there's absolutely no harm in just replacing them now. This thing's definitely going to need to be ultrasonic, that's for sure. Timel, this is a 1502, which is on a 3536 board. It's basically you plug in a magsafe and you get your green light, but nothing else. And what we've got is essentially multiple bugs have chucked up all over the board. It's basically Starship Troopers University Edition from the bug's perspective. Do you have a magic jack? No, I don't. I don't even actually know what a magic jack is, sorry. Spoke to Chris Law on the phone. Oh, cool. I'm worried I'm not seeing him on anymore. Yeah, he's pretty flat out busy. It's a case of, well, as you probably now know, a case of extreme success with his business, which is great. And I know he closed down one of his stores, or he's in the process of doing that. Man, these all look really shonky. But he's only closing it because the other one's so successful, as opposed to him closing it because it's not generating revenue. And of course, I suppose being a parent makes life a little bit trickier for him. Aha, this is a nice one. This must be one of my own. Yeah, I'll explain that. I knew this was too good to be a donor board, and it is, because it's... I fear sometimes when I no-fix these boards and turn them into donors that I will, in hindsight, months later, realise what the fault was with the board, and it'll be too late because I've already stripped parts from it. I don't even know what a magic jack is, Paul. I'm guessing some audio thing. I'll have to Google later. Oh, where are you? Oh, there you are. That's a terrible looking connection, which is a good reason why we use the soldering iron afterwards. His right hand Mika was... Oh, we got rid of Mika. Okay. Yeah, Tim, I ditched the bent nozzles as well. These are just straight short nozzles. The short nozzles is what you want. Short and straight. I was finding too much with the bent ones that you'd lose too much heat through them. And the airflow was just all wrong. It just, overall, just felt wrong. I'm gonna fix up those pads now, because when I put the cap in there I won't be able to get in on that angle that I want with the soldering iron tip. Cracked your 1502 screen. Oh dear lord. No. If there's one thing to render a MacBook beyond economical repair, it's a blown screen. 1466s, 1502s, 1398s. You kill the screen on those and it's all over. You're better off just putting it up on eBay, selling for parts, hope someone's dumb and buys it for an excessively high price. Or go on eBay and hope that you find someone selling one that's damaged, or you get it cheap, because really, yeah, screens are definitely the point where MacBooks become non-economical. Yeah, it is bad if the screen breaks on these models. If you go to Union Repair and have a look at the prices on the screens, you'll understand. I think I priced a $13.98 the other day. By the time I got it to Australia and before I even fit it, it was in the region of $750, $800. And that's for a $13.98. It's not even a new model. Using it for external display, 2013. Yeah, it's just not a good option. I think mine's a 2013 as well. 99% sure I do not have a 2015 edition. Ah man, This is going to be one thing that's going to bother me with this board once I feel like I've declared it as being fit for service again, is that there's a lot of these just random spots that have got the corrosion on them, or at least the copper has been attacked slightly, but it's not blatantly obvious. I only saw that one just by pure luck. Man, what is that stuff? Honestly. More flux. And looks like it's really gone up the trace too. Oh wow, that's gone all the way up. Okay. Alright, happier now with that. Alright. Let's see, what else did we have to deal with? I guess we'll just go over the board again and have a look. Then we'll plug in the DCM board. Let's see if we get something better than 0 or 25 milliamp. I think that was everything. Yep. Alright. Let's try the fan test now. Hey Milwaukee. Ken. I got so much flux on my fingertips now. I'm actually going to change my gloves. The trouble with getting the flux on your fingertips is, of course, no matter what you touch thereafter is also going to get flux on it. And that's fine if it's the board, because you're going to put that back through the ultrasonic. But it's not so good if you start touching the chassis or the keyboard, things like that, and yeah, you leave this really unfortunate sticky mess everywhere. Okay. Where's that DCM board? Yeah. Still in the chassis. Oops. I'll definitely say I'm very happy with these Wera Torx drivers, or the Wera drivers in general. The only one I'm still waiting on is the 000 Philips, the PH000. I have one, but I'm fairly sure the one I've got is a truncated tip. I think something went wrong in manufacturing. But that aside, all the others I'm quite happy. And I do wish they would make a Pentalobe 4 one so that you can actually undo the MacBooks with it. I've got the Pentalobe 1, which is great for the iPhones. Alrighty, here we go. Hey Evelyn, from Wisconsin. How do we pronounce that correctly? Okay, we're up to 700 milliamps straight away, so we've got a fan spin. Yeah, I should put some more enthusiasm into that, I know, but sometimes I just don't feel like being the YouTube hyperactive, hyper everything type person. I'm just very happy we have a fan spin, so let's see, we'll put that back into the chassis and see if we actually display. Sometimes you just don't have it. And the sad thing is you really do need to, I mean, you can see why I didn't want to put that back into the display. Look at all that flux all over that. YouTube thrives on enthusiasm and things like that. And I mean, you look at those was it Dude Perfect or something? I think it is, where they do all the trick shots and whatnot. The hyperactivity in those videos, it's almost painful for me to watch. But it obviously works, and that's the thing. That you can be honest on YouTube, and you have a average sort of, you do okay, or you can be hyperactive, and you do a lot better. But I would be dishonest with myself if I was trying to be hyperactive on YouTube. It's just, I will have my moments, but overall, no. It's just not me. People who know me in real life can attest to that. I'm a very sort of quiet person. I prefer to just sit back and listen to other people. But, okay, in fairness, if a topic comes up that I feel like I actually have something to offer, then I can get a little bit active. Just a little bit. There is a Wera micro sticks is similar to the Tri-Wing. Ah, yes, Andrew, I was looking at that, and the documentation, the PDF, was a little ambiguous, so I wasn't quite sure I was going to be getting the right thing, and I couldn't quite spot the sizes. But yeah, I was looking at that on I don't know if it's a recent offering or not. Maybe that's why there's not enough information there. Oh yes, Lewis and I have a interesting collaboration, I suppose, relationship, maybe you might say. I wouldn't call it quite that much, but anyway, he enjoys paying out on me, and unfortunately, being an Australian, it's somewhat in our culture to go along with that. We are a bit of a larrikin culture, at least supposedly. You wouldn't think it, given the amount of whiners that you see on the forums around here, but it's all in good spirit. There's certainly no bad blood or anything between. I mean, it's like pulling someone's pigtails in the schoolyard to show them that you like them. That's basically what it comes down to. And I am extraordinarily thankful for what he does when he promotes my stuff. He, like, the amount of exposure that I get from when he's, mouthing off about my software, or when he is actually promoting things, you just can't buy that sort of thing. I mean, the guy's got 1 million viewers plus, and I get mentioned in almost every single stream, whether it be positively or negatively. That's the sort of stuff that marketing people just dream of, getting access to that sort of organic, genuine what am I looking for? Exposure, I guess, yeah. It's one of the few times where me getting exposure is actually a good thing, as opposed to the classic sort of scenario where people try to scam you out of your services by saying they'll give you exposure. We're booting up. Hopefully this solid state drive will be good. Sort of back and forth you have with the POMs. Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's all fun and games till someone gets hurt. Did we get an Apple logo yet? It's still this, for whatever reason, this drive does take a little while. It might not be coming up because I didn't hold down the option key. I don't know. Let's try that again. Hey, Werner Lemon. But anyway, other than the fact that I write the Flex Boardview software and the multimeter software, there's no reason for him to be promoting me whatsoever, other than the fact that he's just trying to help. So I'm certainly grateful for that. I wonder if our backlight driver's still got issues, because remember we had corrosion on those pins. I'm not getting a bong. I am getting a flashing drive, but nothing more. Just gonna hold this up to the light and see if I can see any logo through there. You can't really with these ones, I don't think. No, it looks like the screen should be active. Well, give it a little bit longer. So I can see the drive flashing, so it's doing something. It's not brain dead. Did you ever make a video how to make a clean EFI ME region? Nope. Nope. I certainly haven't ever had that skill. I don't believe this is booting properly. Something is amiss, because the drive should not be flashing this long. We should just get some flashes. It should then bring up the options for my boot, and then it should just go on from there. Alright. I'll put in a test drive, an actual solid state drive. I suppose I could see if there's just a backlight. Oh damn it, you kidding me? I should just power it on and see if it gives me an Apple logo. I mean a flashing folder logo rather. Oh, we've got a bong. Okay. Alright, so what's going on then? It obviously didn't like my drive. For board repair, when do you decide it's dead? Usually if you have couple of things. If there's too much corrosion and you're starting to run into just too many vias that are busted through and things like that, and it's too extensive. Okay, so we're good. I think it just, for some reason it doesn't like my boot. I'll put a Mojave stick in, see if that does anything. Well, it sensed that and restarted. When it comes to diagnosing CPU death, or PCH death, that seems to usually always be at the end of the rabbit hole. For some reason, I keep getting caught out, so I can't give you a clear answer on that one yet. You beating Mojave yet? For whatever reason, it's not liking booting off that particular USB. Oh yeah, it's flash. There we go. Yep. Alright. So for some reason it doesn't like my boot drive for some... Oh. So this has got High Sierra on it. And it's just a USB 3. Admittingly, that was installed using a A1286, one of the 330 boards. So you solved your problem with the BIOS, purchased a new chip, and now the Thunderbolt is defective. You're one of the unfortunate people that actually like to use Thunderbolt, or still have peripherals that need it. That's a pain. What machine is it? I'll just let this boot anyway. Well, at least we know that one's up and running. So we'll put that through the ultrasonic. What have we got for time? 12:30 at 12:30 in the morning. I'm really not looking forward to tomorrow morning because we have to, like I said, we do have to probably send another cat off. And we feel bad because, yeah, this particular one, he's a beat up poor old tabby. There's something wrong with him. He's been in fights galore. He's got an eye that constantly weeps. You look at him, you think, yeah, that's a really rotten life. But the thing with life is that often, no matter how bad it is for you, you still don't want to give up your life a lot of the time unless it's truly, truly, truly bad. But what's happening is that he is now wanting to try and get into all the pens. He wants more than just food. He wants to come in and get to know everybody, and we just can't have that. So he's causing fights. Goodness knows what disease got. So yeah, we'll have to get him tomorrow, and he probably will be put down. Oh boy, come on. Pick it up. Get to the end of the Mojave setup. I'm not sure if this one is one that's affected, but the battery isn't connected, so maybe that's slowing it down. No. Unfortunately, my German is not good enough. My Afrikaans is bad enough, my German's even worse. My Deutsch. Oh, he's talking to Crazy J, right. Yeah, this is taking forever. That's okay. We know we've got the problem solved. It's actually working now, so that's all good. We'll just turn it off. No, you're right, Crazy J. Like I said, I try hard sometimes to interpret what people are saying, but some days I just can't understand. I did spend a couple of weeks trying to learn German because back at around about 2001, when I was doing my email filtering software, there was a German group who were distributing it for me, doing all the installations and things like that. And they asked me to come on over and give them a hand with promoting it and things like that. And I was fine with that because I'd just gotten back from South Africa and Europe. But I also realised that these people, obviously they're German, so they would prefer to speak Deutsch. And so I tried to learn, so I spent a couple of weeks doing my best, and I picked up quite a bit, but because I never ended up going over there, mostly because I bumped into my beautiful wife, and I kind of got distracted. But and you just sort of forget that after a while. So this is why I don't like putting the boards into the chassis, because you've got all these flux marks, and now I've got to clean those up. And it's a bit precarious because you don't want to put too much liquid there because they can go through. So just very, very lightly alcohol that. Oh, well, I mean, yes. I always feel bad though, because everybody over there usually knows English, but a lot of the people who speak English as their primary language don't know anything of the languages that's native to the country that they're visiting, and then they get all huffy and upset when people don't understand them all the time. It's like, seriously? So you're over in their country. At least you can do is try and learn something before you get all cranky at them. You are Ende von Deutschland. So is it first of Deutschland? Or I've got that wrong? Because I know in Afrikaans, Einst, E-I-N-S-T, I think it is first. Anyway, language 101. Paul doesn't know what he's talking about. Unless it's C. Which, okay, get that damn fan out of there. The other end, the last, right. Who's messaging me? Ah. Jason Vilmer's messaging me. He's suffering today. Everybody should go over and message, say something nice and loud and shouty at Jason Vilmer today. He's suffering. He had a bit too much of a good time last night. He's just messaging him saying that he's in pain and why he shouldn't have done that. It's the English hedgehog. I'm trying to learn Brazilian Portuguese and failing miserably. Well, at least you're trying. You could go to the local Nando's shop and just learn all the words on the walls of Nando's restaurant. That'll give you a good start in some Portuguese. Good enough to get you some food. Alright, band assembly. So this is basically now ready to go into the ultrasonic. But I won't be doing that tonight because the ultrasonic is currently off and I'm not waiting 3 hours for that thing to heat up. So this will just go back into its holding container. We're fixed and that makes me a happy man. Why would that stop you from showing that, Chris? Your brain can't form the sounds for the Portuguese. Oh. It takes a bit of practice. Funnily enough, I found Afrikaans quite easy to speak after a fairly short time. And it got to the point where I found Afrikaans easier to... Sorry, I'm just looking for a container here. I found Afrikaans easier to listen to while they were speaking in English than I found the English people. It was kind of weird. Well, it is 12:30. I probably should actually pack this up for tonight. I think I might be pushing my luck if I try to go any further. So I think we'll call it a wrap. We had a success, so yeah, what more can a man want? Oh man, that was it. Oh, that's right. I did have something here though that I wanted to check. That's right. Two things really. These things are more well, not strictly casual, but first thing is, I was sent these from a very Ricky Showell. Wait, no. Yep, from Rick. Rick sent me these 1466 boards. Now they've got various bits of damage on them, but oh boy, yeah, this is actually going to save my butt too. Because let's see, we've got a 165, we've got two 165s and two 3437s, which means I've got some SMCs for the 165s if I run out before my other ones arrive. Also got some heat sinks, got some rubber doobidackers. So this is actually going to be quite useful. I might look and see which ones are repairable. Although I do already have quite a few repaired 3437s and 165s. Let's see. Liquid damage, bias removed. Still got the serial number on this one, so we actually probably could reconstruct that bias. Liquid damaged, powers untested. Getting tempting there. So that one off to the side. iCloud lock. Boo. Still might be able to break that. No spin, amber light, PP bus G3 hot, 0.8 volts. That's probably a big fat short somewhere. Let's have some fun. Oh, it's a... oh dear. It's an Apple refurb one. Looks like we're not quite going to sleep yet. I know a lot of people leave these out when they reassemble the machines, but I genuinely cannot do that. I have to put them back. Even if I've completely reassembled everything and I've realized my mistake. It's kind of like there are two kind of iPhone 4 repair people in the world. There are those who will disassemble it to put the ear mesh back in, and those who will not. Or maybe you get 2.5. You get those people who try to jam the ear mesh back into the little slot after they realise they've forgotten to put it on. And it was no fun, of course, on the 4 and the 4S, because I don't think there's ever been a phone since those two that have required quite as many steps to get back into. These are the sort of boards I enjoy doing for a bit of fun, because there's no pressure on my head. Oh, free hair. It's kind of weird. No, it's got that barrier there. What is this? i7-4650. Wow, nice. 8GB one too. Very nice. So this could actually be well worth repairing, and it's a 3437, so it has good heritage, as it were. You can try to put the black sticker on the microphone flex pack. Which one was that? Oh yes. I know the one you're talking about now. Paul's now cursing at me because he was about to head off and do something with his day, and now he's torn because he's going, do I watch Paul or do I go do my important things for the day, like watching cricket? I'm just looking for a 165 fan assembly, which I know I've got around somewhere in this completely disorganized crap fest of a room. I mean, the 165 is definitely technically better, newer, faster type board, but in terms of survivability, the 3437 does still seem to win out most of the time. And I don't really know what percentage of performance difference there is anyway. Alrighty, let's play. Green light. Fan spin. It's fixed. Phew. The Matrix touch. Alright, but this... oh no, 3437, that's behaving. That's actually spinning up the correct routine. Maybe a laugh. Wonder if they just had a bad DC inboard all along. Because that's definitely running. Rick's gonna want his board back now. Sorry, Rick. I can send it back to you if you want. There probably is... what are you complaining about? Oh... microscope software... meter software... Hey Mario, welcome. How's things going over there? 8.6, this thing is scooting along. What do you say we put it into a chassis and see if it actually gives us anything? Let's see... 3437 with a bad screen. I don't think so. Good screen, 3437. It's more like it. Now what I do like about this is that I've got this screen extension cable, which means I can simply plug it in an external board, and if I ever botch up this connection, I don't destroy the screen. It's a damned good way of testing things. Let's see. Okay, let's try that again. Obviously we're not going to have a keyboard or anything, but it'll be interesting to see what comes up. Yuji-kun, you think you saw a knocked off cap? It's hard to say. I mean, there might have been. Yeah, we've got CPU activity for sure, flashing on the drive. Let's see if we actually get anything on the screen though. Come on. Come on. Okay, it's stopped flashing. Got a bad backlight drive? No. Screen is energized. We're just not showing anything yet. Okay. Oh well, this is a 3437, so I just realised I can run MRI on it. So I'll plug that in instead. Yeah, you can see at the start here, there's a slight greenish grey tinge on the screen, and then it should go black in a second. Yep, there it goes. Just went black. Let's see if anything comes up. So the display is being driven. Now we know this display is good. We also know the MRI takes a little while on this one. The machine works. Alright, we're back. Hopefully with synchronization again. Okay, so no Bluetooth, no keyboard, no Wi-Fi. That's okay because I'm got none of that connected. Wow, so everything's coming up good. It does bother me though that they recorded a 0.8 on G3 Hot, which makes me think maybe they just had a bad DCM board after all. Damn. I'm gonna have to message them. I cannot in good faith retain a board that works outright just like this without notifying the person and giving them the option to have it back, because yeah, I know they gifted the board to me, but the thing is it's sort of gifted under a false notion that it was faulty, so I feel it's only right that I notify them and let them know that, hey, you know, it seems like this board is actually perfectly okay, you probably should take it back and keep it as your own stock. Of course it could be an intermittent fault, in which case then I'm just simply making their lives worse. Stockholm's, if they don't want it, I'm keeping it. Get stuffed. Joe, this is the MRI software, the Mac Resource Inspector. It works for machines up to the 3000 series, 2013, 2014. Anything after this, it will tend to lock up. Alright, well, that's working fine. Dandy fine. Kind of sucked the fun right out of that though, didn't it? Paul, it's quite possible, yes. It's quite possible that those other problems are in fact present. Mind you, the sticker on it just simply does say that it seems to have had a power fault. So no spin, amber light, 0.8 G3 hot. So it was most likely one of the peripherals at fault causing it. Maybe bad keyboard, maybe bad DC in, something like that. I'll have a look over it under the microscope. Oh, you finally got the MRI. There you go. Hey, Alfia. Yes, workbench syndrome is unfortunately something that I have to deal with quite a lot. My wife refers to it as the Matrix touch, and she hates me for it. Because she will complain about something not working, and she will have tried many times in different ways, and then I come up, and as soon as I touch it, it works. And she, of course, doesn't approve of that. This has had some liquid over it. There really does not appear to be... The bias is definitely being shifted around. You can see it's not sitting at the correct angle. Now whether it was just installed like that from factory, I don't know. Maybe one of these caps is problematic. But overall, I would say, no, I can't. Oh, this is one that was all scratchy. I don't know why I see that set of pads there scratched up on several boards now. I don't understand. Even the backlight area looks all pretty. That's that 8 gig i7. It's definitely a board worth keeping. Well, they certainly scratch them up a fair bit. Oh, I think the rework is probably... See how I said before, this is a Apple refurb. See, it's got this 639 sticker on it. I think it's 639. Yeah, 639 sticker. If you see one of these on your board, be prepared for it to be an intermittent hellhole of a rabbit job. So maybe that is actually what's happened. This fault, whatever it is actually intermittent. The 0.8 on G3 hot. Might be a chance of actually fixing that one. Anyway, so that actually doesn't look too bad. So thank you, Rick, for sending those in. And I will, if you're not watching this, or you don't watch this, I will email you and tell you what's going on. Alright. Next thing I do need to have a look at before I finish up for tonight is this 6 Plus phone. It's got water damage, and I do need to check, see what's going on. At least, if nothing else, disconnect the battery, even though that's kind of pointless almost at this point. If it had a short or anything in it, it's well and truly drained the battery by now. And if the battery was going to do the bad data dump to the system, then that would have well and truly happened by now as already. Okay, doesn't look like it's ever had work done on it either. This isn't a 6 plus, this is just a 6. Thought it felt a wee tad small. Oh, this is toilet damage one. Thank God I've got the gloves on. Yeah. Alright. If we are exceedingly lucky, we may simply just have a classic C3023, is it? You all know the one I'm talking about. But I'm seeing rust here, so that's a bad sign already. Yes, dropped in the toilet, not peed on, thankfully. I did request a clarification on that matter, and I was assured that it was safe, so to speak. That's it. Even a flush toilet is a bit of a risky zone. Although more often than not it's the seat that's the real drama. So it's okay to gargle the toilet water, just don't eat off the seat. We've got rust up here. Oh, they've left the sim in it. That's unusual. Okay, let's take a dive in the dunny phone. Yuck, yep, yuck. We're fortunate though, it's all up in this area and yeah, hasn't really migrated down there too much. This primarily looks like it's just surface damage. Alright, we'll take this thing out. Might as well fully disassemble it. Yeah, you're right. I mean, where does anyone find time to eat or drink on the toilet? I mean, it's the only time you get to play Candy Crush or Best Fiends. You gotta prioritize these things. Wasting time eating on the toilet. See, at least with eating and drinking, you can sort of do that in a more social setting. You know, declare it as being a work thing. It's like, hey, I'm having a lunch break. But, you know, working your way towards level 1000 on Best Fiends, come on, that takes some dedication. A bit out of focus. It's hard to get the focus on these cameras, I found. I think it's more this region here. That's a little bit out. Sorry. Yeah, you're gonna have to just cope with that for a little bit. We'll be going into the close-up view soon. See if I've forgotten anything. Oh yeah, that one under there. on phones that have never been opened before. There's this one here. Yep. The only trouble with the Wearer drivers is they're about 20mm longer than my old Baku metal ones, which means they can't fit under the microscope, whereas the Baku ones could. Okay, we're good. Yeah. Okay. Looks like we're going to be in for some fun. Oh, okay, thanks, Tom. Come on. Well, that cap is shorted, so we might be lucky. But there's a lot of other damage, so it may be more than just a Wi-Fi cap short. We're still a little out of focus there. That should be better. Let's have a look. Nah. I think that is close to shorted. But what I'm going to do is obviously strip off everything, wash it down, then remove that cap, and then see what we're looking at. About the only shield I'm not going to take off first up is this one here, because everyone who does these phones knows that that is a horrible shield to get off, to the point where I routinely try different techniques of getting it off. Okay, since this is a data-only phone, I can gleefully rip that damn thing off. Yeah, see, this is the whole point. This is why you don't just go, hey, that's shorted, knock it off and try power it up. I mean, look at all this damage here. Yeah. Thankfully with the 6, very little stuff is underfilled, so they are quite repairable, thankfully. We'll take this one off too, because there's obviously been liquid there. Yeah, I'm going to have to sterilize everything after this, because some of that liquid looks a little ominous. It's a data recovery. Anytime liquid hits a phone, it immediately becomes a data recovery job. I do not... Well, I suppose I'm speaking in general here, but I do not do liquid damage repair work on iPhones. It's always data recovery only. Even if the phone seems to be behaving perfectly well afterwards, it's still a data recovery job only for me. It's just not worth the risk. And the thing is, you're risking things for that person as well, because if you give them this phone after you've supposedly fixed it, and then it fails, perhaps at an important time or something, then that's on your head. You know, out here, what if they're in the outback and they need to desperately make a call, but because of the liquid damage, there's a bit of corrosion that went down one of the antenna sections, and they can't make that call. Damage is already in there when they dropped it in the toilet. Yeah. Okay, so fortunately this is all looking really nice, so it's good. Good old TriStar under there. A universal cure as far as many idiots are concerned. Okay, I shouldn't be saying things like that right now. You just kind of get sick of hearing people just say TriStar, 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 TriStar. So not everything's TriStar. Okay. Hey, service PC specialist, Andrew Hughes, what problem was that? Yeah, see we've got damage here under this. What is that? That chestnut? I can't remember. Yeah. It certainly could be a lot worse, but I suppose the cruel thing about all this is that you only, you can have all this damage and you can clean it all up, but it only just takes the wrong thing in the wrong place and you can end up with nothing. Okay, now, contrary to what we do with MacBooks, I do prefer on iPhones to start out with a water slash alcohol clean mix. We already have recorded where the damage is, and I'm just going to use this alcohol. Alright, how's that? Back online. Those batteries usually run out after about 3 weeks of use. Let's see. Anyway, as I was saying, unfortunately I don't know what point that cut out on me. But because with iPhones we're just doing data recovery, we're not trying to do a return to service like with a MacBook. So, the procedures are a bit different. With a MacBook, you want to see where those liquid damage areas were, so you can hopefully replace all the parts. Whereas the iPhones, you just sort of like, well, let's get ourselves a boot and get the heck out of here. Get our data and run. Alright, I think that's probably going to do a good enough job. Just give it a dry off. It almost looks like new again. Except it's not. It almost looks like new. Okay, I just want to check something here. IP6. Wrong board, Paul. Oh, no, gotta wait for this to. No, it'll do, it'll do. Okay. Okay, VCC main. So we can just. I just want to double check. So I'm going and. I can't test that damn coil because it's a coil. Idiot. But I can test this one. I'm just testing for the short. No, that's idiot too, because I want that in ground. So I actually want this in ground. See, that's not shorted. As much as that Wi-Fi cap is messy, it's not shorted. It's very low, 0.04, so I might remove it anyway. Maybe it's just one of those marginal ones that got real close, but the multimeter doesn't seem to want to declare it as being strictly shorted. I guess that's where it's important to read the numbers, eh? So it probably will be a dead one. Certainly is an ideal candidate. Where is my hook? There it is. Let's go full screen. By the way, if you haven't, if you've been living under a rock for the last 24 hours or so, Flex Boardview now has a beta release, 1115 or 1117, depending on what OS you're on. And there are links on the Flex Boardview site to a Bad Caps forum area where you can now get Fruity Phone board views. It's not everything and they're not perfect, but it's a damn good start compared to what the world used to have. So now we have half a chance of being able to do some work on some phones, which is a lot better than no chance before. If you do phone repairs professionally every day, then you're probably still going to need ZXW. I mean, they've got an amazing amount of data on their stuff. But if it's a casual type thing and you just need a bit of a board view, then yeah, this will help. Come on, give me back some more heat. I know some people were just saying, just flick this sucker out, Paul, just flick it out. Stop diddle-daddling with it. Flick it! Flick it! I don't have the strength to do that psychologically. Consequently, I'm probably actually making things profoundly worse, because I'm now wiggling the damn pads back and forth. There we go. Haha. Right. So we saw it was pretty low before, 0.04 or something like that. And as suspected, that is not actually our fault. So I am feeling that we do have a short here somewhere, and it will probably heat up. I mean, look at that cap right in the middle there. See how it's pretty much lost its entire end cap? It's like here. See, now that's trouble. It's a good thing they didn't have Drano in the toilet, because this phone would be truly well and truly dead. The other risk is it could be the PMIC causing trouble, because there was all that junk there. So there is a temptation, maybe I should put this through the ultrasonic before I power it up. Yeah, maybe it will dislodge something. Hey Richard T. Hey Joshua. Alright, so what are we looking at here? That cap that's lost its end cap is by the PMIC. Second in from the staggered resistors. Okay, second, so it's this one here. VCC main. Okay. So that is a VCC main cap there. And we just dislodged it. Yeah. Okay. And go back and test our short. That wasn't it. Like I said, I don't even know if there is actually a proper short on VCC main, or if it's in a rail a little bit further down, or maybe it's in the speaker amp, which is down here. But the speaker amp looks very clean there, so I'm going to be disinclined to believe that to be at fault. Ooh, we missed this by the RAM. That's bad news. So yeah, maybe an ultrasonic would actually be an ideal thing. Because if there is junk underneath the one of the chips, one of the BGA chips, then that would certainly clear it out. Like the audio chip, that got a fair bit there, and that's a pretty classic one to suffer some damage. It looks like some chap under here is looking pretty bad there too. These sort of scenarios, you kind of do want to take the shield off, but doing the shield removal is in itself a bit of a traumatic process. So you're trying to weigh up your options of what's going to yield a result with the least risk. Because remember, you're dealing with data recovery here, and you basically just got the one shot. The downside is, given that this was probably running until the battery died, we may well have we could have an unfortunate DFU situation. Yeah. Just going to check a few. Now I know I'm probably testing a few that I'm repeating a few as it was blah 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 blah. Yeah. Alright, well that kind of seems a little sus, unless that's a CPU one. So what are you, dear chap? Okay, so coil, diode, cap. Okay, why do you say you are a diode, not a flippin' cap? Yep. Imperfect data. That is definitely a diode there, not a flippin' cap. But this is the cap that we're after, and it is on 5v7 Sage line. Yeah, it's making me worry about what's under that shield there. Let's see if my fancy snips can get in on there and do anything. Probably not. These are very fine snips, but even they struggle to get in under here. That's one nasty looking cap end. C1106, that's actually proximity LED, so probably not really an issue. I think as much as it is tempting to sort of dig around at this and try our luck, I think given that it's late at night and that this is a data recovery job, I think the responsible thing for me to do is actually stop around about now and wait till tomorrow when I've got a clear head, and be sure that I know what I'm looking at before I take any action. So like I said, in some of these data recovery cases, you've only got the one shot. Although that is 2.5 ohms, so that is bloomin' well low. And so that's 5v7 Sage. Let's go into the Mason chip. Yeah, I think I'll wait till tomorrow and then I'll dig in deeper. John Locke, this sort of data recovery, they're usually about 229. Depends on the situation. But yeah, usually about 229 to 299 Australian. MacBook repairs are 339, 349. Again, depending on the Mac. Business to business jobs get a bit of a discounted rate. But overall, you get that sort of figure. Yeah. Well, certainly that Sage line is very low, so that's certainly going to be what I'm going to look at tomorrow. We may be lucky. It may be something on that. Maybe it's under the Mason. Maybe it's that cap. But yeah, I'll diagnose that further tomorrow. Alright, we're going to leave it at that. Hey, David. Yep. Alright. So, thank you very much for watching tonight. We had the one win with the 1502, and we had a default win with the i7 A1466 board. But this one, I think if we push our luck, given that it is 1:30 in the morning, we will have a lose, and then obviously the person whose data is on here will not be very happy at all. So we'll leave it at that, and I appreciate everybody being here, and maybe tomorrow I'll stream. I probably won't be streaming this data recovery, I'm sorry to say, because I do prefer to keep my mind as focused as I can when it comes to data recovery stuff. So, but I've got a couple of other MacBooks that we've got to get done, so we may do those instead. Anyway, you'll take care. Until next time, don't let the dingoes bite. I'll see you later.